In the golden hush of early summer 1966, the Indica Gallery in London shimmered under quiet anticipation. Yoko Ono, the Japanese avant-garde artist, prepared her interactive exhibit, Ceiling Painting/Yes Painting, a ladder leading to a tiny word, yes, far above. A piece that whispered of discovery, possibility, connection. That same evening, John Lennon, restless and haunted by fame's emptiness, was invited to the gallery. He climbed Ono's ladder, peered through the magnifying glass, and there it was, yes. A small word, but seismic in its resonance. Their eyes met. The cybers of celebrity and art collided. Two worlds invited intimate conversation. He then found hammer and nail and asked to hammer it. Ono demurred, exhibition not open, but with playful negotiation, he paid imaginary 5 shillings for an imaginary nail, creating real connection. That moment became legend. After their meeting, Lennon and Ono corresponded, he with letters of longing, she with conceptual art and firm belief in hope. He later said it was different, bigger, more than a hit record. Love had lodged in his heart by spring 1967. By May 1968, Cynthia, Lennon's wife, was away. Yoko visited. That night they started recording tape loops, an experimental plunge into intimate art. It was midnight when we finished, and then we made love at dawn. It was very beautiful, Lennon remembered. The result was unfinished music no. 1, 2 Virgins, the bold, controversial album of naked vulnerability, artistic and literal exposure. The public glared. They were unashamedly raw, challenging conventions in sound and love. Lennon's marriage unraveled in 1968. On November 21, he and Yoko faced personal tragedy, a miscarriage of their child. Weeks later, his divorce from Cynthia was final. Reports say Cynthia returned one day to find Yoko in her robe with John, drinking tea, only to be greeted casually, "Oh hi." In January 1969, Lennon and Ono married in Gibraltar. She wore white miniskirt and wide-brimmed hat, he donned off-white corduroy trousers and shirt. It was romantic, uninhibited, spring baptized in love. In the aftermath of their March 20, 1969 wedding in Gibraltar, John and Yoko took their honeymoon as a stage for global consciousness. They transformed a honeymoon into a bold statement. Amsterdam, March 25 to 31, 1969. In their suite at the Hilton Amsterdam, John and Yoko invited the world into their room, holding court from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Surrounded by flowers and clad in pajamas, they sat in bed, fielding questions on peace. Reporters, expecting a scandal, were instead met with quiet dignity and radical simplicity. John later said, "There we were like 2 angels in bed. Peace and love on our heads." Montreal, May 26 to June 2, 1969. Denied entry to the U.S. due to John's drug conviction, they relocated to Montreal's Queen Elizabeth Hotel. Here they recorded their iconic anthem, "Give Peace a Chance," alongside poet Allen Ginsberg, activist Dick Gregory, and others. The bed-in grew into a symbol, activism softened by tenderness, protest imbued with intimacy. These bed-ins showcased their partnership, Yoko as muse, provocateur, and equal. They coined concepts like beigism, laughing at prejudice by wearing bags over their bodies during press conferences, and catalyzed a wave of non-violent activism. After their bed-ins, the couple formed the Plastic Ono Band, blending avant-garde performance art with rock activism. Yoko began attending Beatles sessions, transforming studio spaces with her presence and ideas, emboldening John to redefine himself artistically. New York, 1971. They relocated to Greenwich Village, immersed in the city's creative ferment, and fought deportation from the Nixon administration due to John's past drug conviction. Their legal victory in 1975 helped pave the way for what became the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA policy. In 1972, They performed at the John Sinclair Freedom Rally in Detroit, fighting marijuana sentencing policies alongside Stevie Wonder and others. Tensions peaked in 1973. Amid legal stress and creative burnout, John entered his so-called lost weekend, a separation during which he had an affair with May Pang at Yoko's encouragement. But love renewed, and on March 20, 1975, they remarried and soon welcomed Sean Taro Lennon on October 9, 1975. After multiple miscarriages, the arrival of their son was a miracle and a pivot to family life. People.com. John stepped back to be a stay-at-home dad, focusing on raising Sean, while Yoko managed their creative legacy. By autumn 1980, John's creative spark had reignited. He and Yoko recorded Double Fantasy, an album of alternating tracks, each offering their voice in loving dialogue. The lead single, Just Like, Starting Over, dropped on October 20, 1980, backed by Ono's Kiss Kiss Kiss. The full album was released on November 17, 1980. Studio guitarist Earl Slick recalled it was relaxed, fun, a true reflection of their life together. Yoko noted it was crafted not just to showcase John's new chapter, but also to reintroduce herself to a wider audience. On December 8, 1980, tragedy struck. John, returning home to the Dakota with Ono, was fatally shot by Mark David Chapman around 10:50 p.m. He was pronounced dead at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yoko's heartbreak was immediate and visceral. At the hospital she reportedly exclaimed, "No, he's alive," then collapsed. She asked doctors to delay official announcements so their son Sean could be told by her first. In the wake of John's death, millions paused worldwide for 10 minutes of silence on December 14, including NYC, Liverpool, Central Park, per Yoko's request. Yoko issued a public plea, "There is no funeral for John. Please pray for his soul," and asked fans to donate to the Spirit Foundation instead of sending flowers. Throwing grief beyond Konya level, several fans even took their own lives. Ono begged mourners not to surrender to despair. Ironically, tragedy propelled the album to number 1. In the US, it rose from initial low charting to enter number 1, remaining there for 8 weeks. In the UK, it climbed to number 2 and later topped the charts for 2 weeks beginning February 7, 1981. Garnered Album of the Year at the Grammys, 1981. The album became both a love letter and a testament to their bond. Within months, Yoko turned pain into art. Walking on Thin Ice, written just before John's death, launched soon after. In June 1981 she released Season of Glass, a solo album steeped in raw emotion. Opening with I Don't Know Why, it laid bare her sorrow. The cover featured Lennon's bloodied glasses hovering over a fragile glass. The single Never Say Goodbye, 1983, blended new wave beats with samples of John and Sean, a sonic bridge between grief and hope. Yoko later described art as her lifeline, forcing her to confront trauma, find meaning, survive. In the decades since, Ono oversaw the release of Double Fantasy Stripped Down, 2010, highlighting John's voice in its rawest form. She maintained her advocacy for peace and gun control, notably marking December 8 each year. Despite persistent criticism early on, public sentiment shifted. Paul McCartney acknowledged Ono's creative vitality, asserting John might never have written Imagine without her. Today, Yoko's legacy spans music and art, from the Imagine Peace Tower in Iceland to ongoing remembrances of Lennon's life. They once began with a single word, yes, in a London gallery. That yes became a dialogue, a life, a global message: peace, love, creation, transformation. Yoko Ono and John Lennon's love story transcended romance. It shaped art, challenged society, and offered hope amid heartbreak. Though John's life was cut short, their creative conversation continues, resonating with every note, installation, and act of kindness inspired by their shared belief in human possibility. Let me know if you'd like me to help craft narration, structure for your video, or dive deeper into any part. One of Yoko's most powerful ongoing tributes to John is the Imagine Peace Tower on Vi Island, Reykjavik, Iceland. Unveiled on October 9, 2007, what would have been John's 67th birthday, the tower projects a luminous pillar of light into the sky, emerging annually until December 8, the anniversary of his death. Powered by Iceland's geothermal energy and inscribed with Imagine Peace in 24 languages, the tower symbolizes their shared dream of global harmony. Over 1 million handwritten peace wishes from around the world are buried beneath its base. Yoko calls it a gift from John and Yoko, and the people of Iceland to the world. The tower also lights up for significant moments: Yoko's birthday on February 18, the winter solstice, and the spring equinox, spreading their message beyond ornament to activism. Yoko remains vocal on violence, peace, and human rights. In 2016, she called out for an end to gun violence at Central Park's Strawberry Fields Memorial on the 36th anniversary of John's death. Fans continue annual ceremonies in New York, echoing his timeless message of more love, more unity. Her advocacy isn't nostalgic. It actively bridges decades, as Yoko's at the forefront calls for peace and her catalyzation of public events prove. Meanwhile, their son Sean calls Imagine a synthesis of Yoko's philosophy, and notes her resilience in transforming trauma into hope. Art critics and institutions have re-evaluated Yoko's contributions. Recent retrospectives, like Music of the Mind at Tate Modern, celebrate Ono as a radical, ahead-of-her-time artist and feminist icon, rather than the scapegoat of Beatles fandom. Music historians now credit Yoko as co-writer on Imagine, formally acknowledged in 2017, correcting decades of misattribution and addressing Lennon's own admission in 1980, "I wasn't man enough. If it had been Bowie, I would have put Lennon Bowie." Her conceptual style undeniably shaped the song's imagery and impact. Their son, Sean Ono Lennon, continues carrying their torch. A recent IMAX documentary, 1-to-1, John and Yoko, explores the depth of his parents' creative and activist life in the 1970s. Sean described it as like getting more time with my dad, bringing fresh footage and insight into familial and political dimensions. On the artistic front, Sean collaborates, performs, and curates archives, often alongside his mother, ensuring their legacy remains dynamic rather than stagnant. Yoko's Wish Tree installations, permanent features in cities like Pasadena, Tokyo, New York, and London, invite public participation, echoing the wishes buried at the Peace Tower. These pieces, deployed internationally from 2002 to 2024, embody connection and shared intention. If you enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, and share.